everybody, my name is Michelle and in this video I'm going to talk about all the books that I want to read in February. So January was an amazing reading month and I really hope February will be just as good. So that's why I've picked out some books to read this month and I'm basically very excited about all of them. I feel like I'm really getting the hang of doing more monthly TBRs. I never used to do them and I also didn't do one for January, but now I'm back again and I feel like these monthly TBRs are actually really nice to do and they also give me a bit of a guidance on which books I want to read next. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do today again. I want to finish some book series, I want to do some rereads and yeah, I just have very ambitious plans for February. So I guess that's pretty much what I'm going to do in this video. So yeah, let me get started and I'm going to tell you about my February TBR. First of all, in February on the 15th there's going to be another 24-hour Basically Readathon. This is a readathon organized by my friend Brit over at Basically Brit, and every once in a while she organizes a 24-hour readathon. And of course I always like to participate whenever I can. So far I don't really have plans on the 15th, but of course you never know. But in any case I'm going to try to read as much as possible. The challenge of the Basically Readathons is always to read a book that has been on your TBR forever. So a book that you've been meaning to read for a very long time. And for this one I have chosen Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. This is the third and final book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, which is a very magical fantasy series. It is very hard to explain the premise, but the first book is about a girl named Karou who can go through these special doors and sort of has a business relationships with some chimera, and she also has some form of magic. That's all I can tell you because really this book series is so much more than that, but that would give so much away, so I really cannot tell you about it. It is very magical, very whimsical and adventurous, and I definitely really enjoyed the first two books, but it has been so long since I finished the second one. Because I will say though, especially the second one was a bit slower and it took some time for me to get through, so I still haven't picked up the third book. But I think this one is just perfect for the challenge of the Basically Readathon, so this is the one I want to read. I also have this book on audiobook, so I'm thinking that I will just dedicate the entire day to reading this one and I will switch between the physical book and the audiobook. Normally I have two separate books, you know, one physical, one audiobook, but now I think if I combine the two powers of reading together, then maybe I can finish it as soon as possible. Because I really do want to finish more book series. There are so many that I just don't finish, and yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do in February, and I really hope I will enjoy the conclusion of this series. Then this month I also want to participate in the mid-take Readathon, mid-take reads book of the month. Like, it's sort of a book club about books all about mythology or related to mythology in retellings or in fantasy books. And I've discovered that even though I like mythology a lot, I really don't read that many books that are myth inspired, so I want to change that, and because of that I'm going to read the book of the month of February and March of the mid-take reads, and that is the Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White, and this is a retelling of the story of Arthur and the Round Table, but through the eyes of Guinevere, who's actually someone who's in disguise. And yeah, that's again all I know about it, but it's basically just a retelling of the story through Guinevere's eyes. So I guess that's pretty straightforward when it comes to a premise. This is something so different from what I would usually read, but I don't know why, because it sounds very intriguing to me. Like, a book about the Arthur legend sounds so interesting, and then from a different perspective. Like, I've never read a book that was inspired by the Arthur legend. Of course I know the story, but I haven't really read a book about it. And this one just sounds so badass and so interesting, and I really hope I will enjoy it. And yeah, I'm very much interested to read about it and then of course see all the mid-take discussions about it. Yeah, I'm very much intrigued with this book. And I'm very happy that I picked it up, and I really want to participate in more readathons and book clubs and everything and read-alongs this year. So yeah, this one was perfect for that. Next up I have another book that has been on my TBR for so long, and it's The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. This came out I think 2 years ago or maybe already 3 years ago, but it's a thriller. All I know is that it's about a woman who always watches through her window. She's like sort of, she doesn't come out of her house, and then she witnesses something in the house next to her, like through the window. That's all I know, but it's a thriller and apparently it's a very good one. I've had this book on my shelf for so long, and I really felt like also picking up some books that had been there for a long time and maybe read some books that are, you know, have been on my TBR for a long time, apart from the Basically Readathon. With The Woman in the Window, I think I might listen to the audiobook, because with thrillers I really like audiobooks, I've discovered. So then another one that I can hopefully cross off my TBR, but of course I also hope that I'm going to enjoy it, because I really love thrillers and exciting stories. And this again sounds like a really good one. The reviews are really promising. It's time for me to finally pick it up, so that's going to happen in February. Then I have a book that I've already started in January, but that I want to finish in the next month in February, and that is The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. This is the second book in the Bone Season series, which is a sort of dystopian, different world book. It is our world, but in a different sort of future, and in this world lots of people have clairvoyant powers, but it's illegal to have those, and yeah, very much dangerous to have those. So you have to be careful, and our main character named Paige is a clairvoyant. She is a dream walker, which is very rare, and she is sort of like part of this underground gang in London, this crime gang, and that's all I can say about it, again, because this series is a lot more than just that premise, but I don't want to give anything away, of course. Really enjoyed the Bow Season, which I read back in November, I believe, or October. I think it's November. So I thought it was time to pick up the second book, because again, I have a habit of starting series and then not continuing with them. And then also, as I mentioned before, I've read about 100 pages of it, so I've made a start with it. I've sort of read bits and pieces of it in between other books, but in February I want to give this book my full attention and finish it. For what I've read so far, I'm definitely very much intrigued. It's sort of different than the first one. Yeah, again, I cannot say anything about that, but it is very interesting and intriguing, and I do really love the writing style and the sort of world building. So I'm very sure I'm going to finish The Mime Order in February, because I already started it, so I don't want to put it away and, you know, not pick up for months or months. So I'm going to finish it hopefully very soon, probably at the beginning of February. And I really hope the rest of the book is going to be so amazing. Cannot wait for it. Yeah, this is just a series that I'm very much intrigued with at the moment. Also, I want to do a reread of one of my all-time favorite books, and I feel like a lot of people are going to reread this one, and that is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Because of course the prequel of The Hunger Games is going to come out in a couple of months. I don't know the exact publication date, but yeah, I feel like a lot of people feel like this is a very good excuse to reread the entire Hunger Games series. I also believe there's an official Hunger Games read-along. I've seen some of that. I will leave a link to it down below in the description box if you want to see more of that. But with that read-along, they're going to read one book each month until the release of the new one, the prequel. So I guess I'm sort of participating in that, but also not really, because I'm just going to read the Hunger Games series in my own sort of time and my own pace. So yeah, I'm going to start with The Hunger Games, which is of course the first one in the series. And if you have been living under a rock for the past 10 years or so, and you don't know what The Hunger Games is about, this is a dystopian novel that takes place in America. And in this world, America is called Pan Am, and it's divided in 12 districts and one capital. And every year, every district has to send one girl and one boy to participate in the Hunger Games, where they will fight to the death and only one survivor can remain. I love the Hunger Games so much. It's one of my all-time favorite series, second only to Harry Potter. I've read it many times. Like, I've reread this one so many times. I can never get enough of it. But it has been, I think, about a year and a half since my last reread, so it's time for another, especially again in light of the new prequel coming out. I just feel like the Hunger Games series holds up so well, and it ages very well. Like some YA series from like 10 years ago might feel like they really are from 10 years ago, but I feel like the Hunger Games is still so relevant and so interesting to read about. And yeah, I can never get enough of it. It's one of those series I can keep reading again and again. So I'm going to reread The Hunger Games in February, and hopefully the rest of the series as well. I'm just going to see how it sort of goes and how fast I'm going to be with my rereads. But I cannot wait for it. I'm so excited because I love this series so much. In case you can't tell, yeah, it's going to be amazing. Also on my February TBR is The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. Again, the final book in a book series. This is the final book in the yeah, The Bear and the Nightingale trilogy. I don't know the exact name of this series. I've read book 1, The Bear and the Nightingale, and book 2, The Girl in the Tower, in January. And yeah, they are just amazing. I love them so much. This is a sort of magical, well, not sort of, it is magical story of medieval Russia and things that are going on. And the main character is a girl named Vasya, and she's very brave and has sort of like a more connection with those magical elements. And again, that's all I can say. But the entire series is just a wondrous world of magic and whimsical things and intrigue, and it is beautiful. The writing, oh, to die for. Like, it is so amazing. It's exactly the kind of writing in books that I love. So it seems only fitting that I'm going to finish the series in February. I really want to finish this one soon because, again, I don't want to have it lying around for ages until I pick it up again. And also I cannot get enough of the writing and the amazing story. So that is going to be amazing. I already cannot wait for it to happen. And then hopefully I will have finished another book series this year really soon. And again, for finishing book series, I have a final one on this TBR list, and that is finishing the Raven Cycle series with The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. So this is a, yeah, it's also sort of supernatural, magical series. It's about a group of 4 boys from a private school called the Raven Boys, and then a girl named Blue. Blue is cursed with the knowledge that she will cause her true love to die when she kisses him. And then Gensi, one of the boys, is on this quest to find sort of like the spirit of this ancient Welsh king named Glendower, and lots of things happen in between. I started the series a long time ago, but I finally read the 3rd book in the series, Blue Lily, Lily Blue, in January, so I'm finally continuing with the series. And again, I don't want to lose momentum with this one, so I'm going to pick up the Raven King, yeah, in February, so I can finish another one, cross another series off my list. Yeah, I'm really getting the hang of these series and finishing them, which is one of my goals of the year. So far, so good. And I'm really excited to see how the Raven King is going to end, and you know, the Raven Cycle series in general. I think it's going to be amazing. Like, I love these series, by the way, but it's not like one of my all-time favorite series as with some other people, but it's really beautiful, and again, this whimsical writing style that I really enjoy, and I just want to finish it and see what is going to happen. That's the basic idea of it, so that's going to happen in February, yes. And those were all the books that I want to read in February. I really hope I can manage all of them, but of course I always have to see how it goes and how my reading mood is, because I can be so changeable with like which books I want to read. But in any case, I'm very excited about all of them, so I'm sure it's going to be an amazing reading month again. But this was it now for this video, and if you liked this video, please go subscribe or maybe give it a thumbs up, because as always, I would really appreciate that. And then hopefully I will see you again very soon in my next video. Bye!